Hello.
Hi.
Hey. What is up, everybody?
More in it. There you go.
We are coming to you live from our respective houses in a just slightly different room. No, the same room. Just a different place.
Tell them why quickly.
Well, we're trying to sell this house and move to a different one, and so we have staged it so that it looks all pretty. And as such, we had to put the couch against the wall. See, look there. Look at that. Hey, look at that. That's nice.
Show them the dog.
There's
dog
the dog.
tags.
Dog.
See, you can buy
Dogs.
Adam and Christy's house and move to Birmingham.
Yes. It's awesome. So anyway, welcome to Literally Wasted. It's the first discussion
You're here.
of August. And so we are talking about Scythe by Neal Shusterman, just in case you weren't sure what we were going to talk about today.
I hope you didn't need that reminder.
Yeah, I hope you didn't need that reminder. Yes, we're buying the Lit Wasted compound.
You're still talking, Adam.
Yeah, I'm still talking.
Can I go?
Yeah, you want to sing?
The list is getting longer.
That's good though. We need that long list.
Now's the time to shine. Okay. Hi, Kristen and Tammy and Steve and Mariah, Lee and Julie and Brandy. Hi, other Brandy and Tim and Stacy, Mary and Rachel, Adrian. Hi, Judy and Jennifer, Katie and Brenda. Don't make me laugh. It's hard. Kira, Kid, Cindy and Jen. Hi, Philip and Jody and Kelly and Carrie and. I hate it when it does that.
Kimberly, Willow,
Missy, Lana, Adrienne, Philip, and Lana again. I feel like I missed.
Boom.
Oh, did you see?
If I missed them, you're all awesome.
Did you see the request for a second name song, like halfway through?
Halfway name song? Yeah, you got to start all the way at the top, though.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
I respectfully decline.
Cindy's been here for a whole week. Yeah, Cindy messaged me last week and was like, "Hey, is something wrong?" And I was like, "With what?"
Oh no, I can't. Sorry.
Got him.
Sometimes the comments all scroll up really quickly, and if I lose my
it
place,
that
then
time
you
on
know.
us.
So now you're in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
The time is now. And
You
now we have a
ready?
recap.
Ready for a recap?
Yes, please. Stopping point.
Okay. Scythe Faraday is dead. He committed suicide by jumping in front of a train to release his apprentices from their apprenticeships so they wouldn't have to face off against one another. However, Scythe Goddard has sponsored Rowan and Scythe Curry has sponsored Citra, so the face-off is back on. Also, Rowan just got the crap beat out of him.
Yeah. So
No spoilers past that point.
Yes.
or you'll get gleaned.
Ha.
So what do we think of this book so far?
Well, Kimberly says she's loving it.
I saw that.
She's loving it. Okay.
Sorry.
Lucas finished before me. Like
what? Lucas.
days. So,
Well, I guess I'll start.
like 2
That's
days.
so
So I
out of
think you
character.
should.
Yeah, no, I was telling Tally, I think this is probably one of my favorite books that we've read this year so far. I really,
Nice.
Hey.
yeah, I like it. It's a killer book. So says Philip. Thank you for joining us in the UK. But yeah, I don't know. I like the characters. I kind of equated it. I mean, take this loosely, but it's got some like Giver vibes and Logan's Run vibes, and I'm down for that. I mean, loosely. I don't know. I like the characters. I like the premise. It reads. I listen to it.
It's still reading.
You're
reading with your
It
ears.
listens well. No, I'm just right now. I'm really interested to see where it goes and how this unfolds. And I will say, of the series that we've read recently, this is probably one. I mean, I'll hold my judgment to the end, but I would probably want to continue this one at some point. Holding my judgment till the end to see how this one goes. But
so far, so good, I guess.
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, I like the characters, and yeah, I don't know why it gives me the Giver. It's that kind of utopian, things are perfect but they're not somehow kind of vibe, and then like us only what the Giver's the premise of only one person has all the memories, right? Or can feel pain.
Dreams.
I don't remember.
It's been a long
It's a
time.
great book. But that's the same kind of premise here, where it's like, this very select subset of people has the power over death, and everyone in the resetting. I don't know, like there's just some interesting concepts of people resetting, and it's interesting to see. At first,
Turning
you're
the
just
corner.
turning the corner. But it's interesting to see how the different scythes are operating and how each kind of has their own way that they're handling it. That you're starting to see now that the two, Citra and Rowan, are in two different houses, and so it's interesting to see that. But yeah, initially, really down for it. So far I'd recommend it to people for sure.
Nice.
Splatting.
Well, yeah, I'll go next. I'm really enjoying it. This was actually, we have so much going on, and this was not the right time for me to start this book. So if I wasn't reading it for Literally Wasted, I would have read the first couple of chapters and put it aside and come back to it later. But I pushed through, and like, I really am enjoying this book. I'm glad that I pushed through, and I can't wait to see the next bit of it. And there's some holes, of course, but for the most part, I think it's pretty great. And I think that the world and the premise is very interesting.
We'll have to talk about those holes
Yeah.
at some point tonight during this live discussion.
And the reason this wasn't the right time for me at the beginning was just because it was so sad and uncomfortable, especially the first 2 chapters, that like it was a little too heavy. But it lightened up a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, it's a happy book.
Well, no, it's not. But like, I don't know. I guess once you figured out like how statistically often this stuff actually happens, it kind of put it into perspective, and it wasn't so
random.
Yeah, and well, I mean, it's still random, but like horrifying.
Honestly, it made me just more horrified about the real world. But
yeah.
Adam, can I go really quick because mine isn't going to take long?
Okay, go.
I want to see those cat holograms.
Mine's not going to take long because my feelings are all over the place with this book. Like parts of it feel very predictable to me. Parts of it were very shocking to me. Parts of it had me going like, what? And other parts of me, other parts I was rolling my eyes. I feel kind of like all over the place. That being said, I don't know why. Out of all the stuff that we've read, like the past several months, we've read some great stuff that I've really enjoyed and left feeling like really good about. Even though I'm not like immediately like, oh, I love this book, I feel for some reason more engaged with this book than I have with anything that we've read in months. And I don't know if it's because I have all these flip-flop feelings. I don't know what it is about it, but like I've really enjoyed some of the books that we've read the past few months, like really, really enjoyed them. But for some reason, this book is intriguing me more. Now I'm separating those words because for me, enjoyment, like this being like a really enjoyable book and this being really intriguing, they're in like chronological order.
Yeah, no, I'm looking.
Like are not the same, but I'm super invested. I cannot wait to finish reading. But it's like not perfect at all. And there's some stuff that I'm like, ugh. But there are some times where like the author has really like spun me. I'm also like very sad about Faraway. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I don't know. This book has me kind of all over the place, but I do feel like so interested.
Yeah.
Is that weird? I don't know how else to explain it.
I'm looking at the lineup and I would definitely say like, this is the first one in a long, long time that's really like, I'm like, yeah, like give me more of this.
But there are other books that I love.
There are other books
like,
that I love,
loved more than this. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, okay, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, for me, I think I also have a similar kind of all over the place feelings about this book. One, I'm enjoying it. Let's just put that out there. There are a lot of parts, and I've said this to Christy, that feel to me like they're ticking the boxes of like what this genre should be. Like this, like Neal Shusterman is like trying to get this made into a series of movies. It's like it feels like it's ticking those boxes for me, like the Hunger Games type boxes. And so, you know, like you were saying, there are parts that are kind of predictable and parts that, you know, they're predictable in that sort of way, and that they kind of fit the genre of sort of like young adult dystopian future movies. But there are enough things in here. There are enough like little twists and turns and little like interesting concepts that it's got my attention. And I think some of the things that it's doing with the notions that it's throwing out there and the concepts of like not being able to die and this all-seeing cloud eye, and then like, you know, everybody has these healing nanites and stuff like that. Like I think those are all interesting, and then how people like deal with them, especially the scythes. I think that particularly the moment where Rowan got beat up was really fascinating for me, because like that made kind of sense.
It did make sense.
Kind of made sense in this world that they would want to experience that. Anyway, so you know, when Faraday killed himself, and just the world itself is interesting enough to me that I want to keep going. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I think one of the reasons that it is it's easier to read. It's like not. It kind of just goes, it moves fast, and like it's very sort of simple, straightforward storytelling. And so I appreciate that, you know, especially when you got a lot going on, you don't have time to like really sit and like dive into something really dense. Like this has been a good kind of read in that way. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just meant for like YA post-apocalyptic kind of sci-fi, like that hits my buttons.
There's so much murder though, and
Murder.
That
Don't call it
was
murder though.
Muck duck.
There is a lot more muck duck than I anticipated. I mean, like obviously anticipated. I knew it's called Scythe, and it's like death on the cover of the book. Like, okay, but I don't know, for some reason it's written in such a way where like, yes, it's very, very dark, but it's already like kind of desensitizing you to it. And I'm not there yet. I am not yet desensitized. So that's been a little bit of a struggle, but it is still interesting, even though it's like interesting and uncomfortable for me to read.
Yeah, we're also reading it through the eyes of these characters who I don't think are yet desensitized to it.
True.
So like,
I hope not.
They
I don't
never
want them to be.
experienced anything.
this is a world
like
where death doesn't even barely exist.
Yeah.
So like, now all of a sudden they're thrust into it.
Martin says he likes the Scythe journal entries, and I hardly agree. And I think it's really interesting that they're at the end of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so much. You know, if there's a letter or a preface thing that kind of establishes something, it's like right before the chapter. And so I thought that was kind of interesting too. But
am I the only one though? Okay, like I don't know why, but in my head I was reading all of those journal entries and was like, okay, so I guess these are from the perspective of Citra in the future, and she's chosen her name, and she's after Curie. And I was like, so that's the name she chose. And then when we actually meet her, and I was like, oh no, she's real. Never mind. I even had like one weird moment where I was like, oh no. And I was like, maybe Citra does die. And Rowan takes that name in honor of her. And they're his journal entries. And then we met her, and I was like, never mind. That was all wrong.
I did think that they were either from someone who had already passed or from someone in the future. I didn't think it was a current Scythe.
I think when we met Scythe Curie, I was like, oh, there she is.
Yeah. And a ton of people are talking about why does it have these pills that can just kill someone easily. People are also making a ton of comments about like, why is it random? Some people like the randomness, and some people think like if it so there was a comment that was like, if they say it, we have to do 5,000 people in a year, you just take the 5,000 oldest and just let it go. And I think both of those are really great things to talk about. I know they did talk about like they wanted the gleanings to kind of reflect how, or like in what ways,
How people died in the before time.
yeah, and what like
Well,
genetic ratios people died before
so-
immortality.
I don't. It's messy, and I do think I find it interesting how every Scythe goes about it differently and has the freedom to go about it so differently. Because, like, I was very intrigued by Curie's method versus Faraday's methods and how different they were, but they're both coming from what they see as an ethical place. And then Goddard, who is just a monster, and reading his journal entries was enlightening and gross. And yeah, not a fan of the mass gleanings, not a fan of Goddard and his crew
my gosh.
at all. Very horrific.
When they announced it on the plane that the whole plane had been chosen for gleaning, like,
Oh gosh.
that was such a powerful twist.
And what's up with the little girl? Because
We don't know
wanna
yet. No
know.
spoilers.
She's just like splashing in the pool.
What's the deal with Esme?
What's
Esme.
she got going on?
I was
She a
really
vampire?
scared because
That's
first,
Red
no,
Esme.
I was really scared at first because when they found her in the mall and one of the Scythes was like, "Isn't this your pizza?" And I was like, "Don't you poison that little girl!" I was like,
Oh.
"You monster!"
What
I
in
thought
the
that's
world
how they
is
were gonna
happening
kill her.
on YouTube?
Uh-oh.
Ew. Oh, is it on YouTube though? That's good. Okay.
Yes.
We're
Okay,
getting
Gone.
okay.
He blocked him. It was just one person.
Yeah, y'all, we've
Or bot.
gotten. Y'all are so wonderful. If you ever see anything off kilter in the Facebook group, please
Yes.
report it. We will handle it.
Yeah, there's been
post-haste.
like a huge influx of spam lately on all social media and whatever, and we're trying our best to block and hide and delete everything. But please do not ever hesitate. There are ways in the group for you to go and like report something to us, and then we get a notification and we can hide it, delete it, block, deal with
between
whatever.
the four of
So-
us, there's pretty much always somebody
Yeah,
kind of
it's just been
having
crazy.
eyes on it. But yeah, it's been bad lately.
Anyway.
Anywho's, yeah.
Somebody just
So
got gleaned from
Y'all,
the
there's-
YouTube comment section.
I shouldn't laugh, but that was very appropriate.
That was good. That was good.
Good job.
Oh, do willows.
Here we go.
I don't like the randomness, but listening to this discussion, maybe they've kept that because otherwise life would be too completely perfect and people wouldn't appreciate it as much, maybe. Will, I think you made a great point because several times they talked about how there's no point anymore. There's nothing to learn. There's nothing to create. Everything has already been done and found and learned. And like people just have to entertain themselves now. But like even when they're talking about the art, like, I don't know.
I think you saw that more in Scythe Curie's method because she was really looking for like who doesn't have that spark anymore, like who's done this so much that it's just like, and she was really looking for that, and she was able to pinpoint it too, and like so yes, it was random, but she had been doing this for so long that she could tell who had lived that life so much and who had reset so many times, and it was their time. And so
I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but for those of you who have, The Good Place.
oh yeah, that's a great show.
That's a great show.
It's yeah, Good Place. Very, very relevant here
So here's
in the
this
conclusion.
was a question that I asked Christy this morning, and I think we know the answer to this. But is this dystopian? Is this a dystopian novel?
Yes.
It's like utopian dystopian.
I thought just the definition of dystopian was just something set in the future that now I'm realizing as the words are coming out of my mouth that I don't actually know what it means.
Let's
Hold on.
Google it. Someone
does
tell us the
Mr. Google
definition of
say?
dystopian.
Mr. Google.
Or Miss Google, or Mix
DYS.
Google.
Hey, Google.
A
knows what I'm
dystopia
saying.
A dystopia is a speculated community or society that is undesirable or frightening, often treated as an antonym of utopia. So,
This,
um,
my
So-
definition says something where there is great suffering or injustice.
Well, I think we as humans will never be able to reach a utopia because we are intrinsically
because we're humans.
imperfect, you know. So I think, yeah. So I mean,
I think this world is portrayed or thought of as a utopia. Like they think they have reached the pinnacle of society.
Yeah.
I think we as the observers have to then interpret it as a dystopia based on like, this isn't, I don't want to live this way. Like that kind of, like that kind of,
Dystopia.
that's kind of where I got, and Missy just commented about Logan's Run too. Like that's, you know, Logan's Run. What I think when you turn 30, the gem in your hand starts glowing red, and basically everyone dies. Like that's it. Like you live that. No, that's like right at the beginning. Like that's the setup of the entire story, and so you live that to that age, and then you're reborn, back into the society kind of thing. But it's basically like a mass cleaning.
interesting.
So like that person on that day. So like if you're 30 on August 18th tomorrow, then sorry, Tyler's birthday's this week. It's okay.
I'm more than
You're not-
30.
Then you beat Logan's Run. You won.
So like, here's the thing about this world, though, and I'm sure we'll get more of it. But like at the moment, like whatever they have come up with as a society, like it doesn't seem like it's on the verge of collapse or there's major injustices or anything like that. It just is stagnant. It's like, you know, it's not like you see in the Hunger Games where you have like the hugest like class discrepancy or whatever. You know, like it's nothing like that. It's everything's just here, and you have this group of people who are like, you know, above the law and commit gleanings. And so far, even though we have this group that does mass cleanings and there's kind of a schism happening within the Scythe world, it just is. And like even the main characters are kind of learning, but slowly learning maybe about what's going on. Like Kent's saying, there's a lot of unchecked power, but it's not like it at the moment. I think it's not like super. I mean, everybody's like okay with it. Like all the sites are just like, yeah, it happens. Like I didn't expect when they got to the conclave for everyone to just be aware of what was happening. I thought that like this group was just kind of like taking
their
it upon
coffee and
themselves.
donuts.
I like how they were like, we got rid of politicians, and then they just made new politicians.
Yeah.
But okay. They're like, there's no corruption because there's no politicians. Let's just create a new political power.
Well, how can Scythes even be corrupt? Like they're chosen by previous Scythes, and it sounds like they have a pretty rigorous training. I know it's just a year, but like they dismissed that one kid because it was too emotional or something. Like he was too quick to anger. Yeah. So I don't understand how Goddard even was able to become a Scythe.
I feel like all it takes is really one. It's a seed, right? So over time, things start to alter and change as they bring in more people who might be like-minded. But also, Scythes, at their core, are still humans. So they are changing once they have that ring. Then who they are can further evolve. But I do feel like I've just like had like this stupid epiphany reading the back of the book. Like a world with no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Okay. And no poverty, no death, like all this stuff, no anything. So yeah, if it's not perfect still, then that means the only thing that's left are human brains. So that just human brains are what ruin everything. They're the worst.
I think the thing that I'm waiting to see happen is like, when is this, you know, like all these dystopian young adult things are kind of about like down with the system, or like let's have a revolt and right the wrongs of this society. So waiting to see when that happens. Like if Citra and Rowan think that this whole Scythe is corrupt, or they end up going after the Thunderhead or something like that.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how Rowan fares under Goddard's instruction, because like
I'm worried he's gonna become corrupt a little bit.
I don't know if he's necessarily going to become corrupt, but like so far in Goddard's training, like there's logic there. Like we talked about that earlier, like in beating the crap out of him and turning off his nanites so he couldn't heal or like not have pain. That made sense to me.
Yeah, you gotta know what pain is like.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, I wonder if everything that Goddard teaches him is going to have that grain of logic that like is going to be really hard for Rowan to ignore, because like Goddard clearly isn't a good person or a good Scythe.
Well, look what Julie said. He's figured it out though. He's working the system. Faraday has this really busy job where he does one at a time, and Goddard's like, let's do them all a bunch, and then I can just party for the rest of the time.
True. Oh, and you put a comment up there earlier about the pool boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was messed up.
It was really messed up.
But isn't that the best type of manipulation and corruption? Like they say, like the most believable lie has a seed of truth. So the way that he's twisting and manipulating people is he's showing them things that make sense, but also he's bad. Like it's not a straight line. It's like this very, very weird, wiggly, overlapping.
I'm glad that he's not I'm glad he's not a mustache twirly villain. Like I'm glad that there's shades of gray with him.
I like that too.
And that I can kind of see his point a little bit.
I do hope we get more shades of gray as we go on, because we've only gotten the one. Because the first like introduction to him was like, oh well, he's terrifying.
Yeah, this is bad guy. This is not a bad guy.
But then by the time we got to the halfway point, I was like, okay, I'm listening.
This is a different school of thought.
Yeah, not necessarily right, but different.
They're like, yes, you beat me, but okay, yes.
But you know, it was such an interesting concept to me to hear like, we turned off your nanites, we're going to beat the crap out of you, and now we're going to just let you sit with it. Like,
well, they turned his healing nanites on after what, like 3 days,
but not the pain ones.
But not the pain ones, and I don't think he's getting the pain ones back. And I would bet that Goddard and his whole crew don't have their pain ones on.
Well, I'm interested to see how that affects him. Like, you know, like how like knowing that you can feel pain affects how you walk through this world now.
Yeah. Well, even Curry, what she gleaned that one guy, and then she talked to the family, and she's like, you can stab me, but if you were gonna feel every bit of that, like, would you offer?
Yeah, she knows she's just gonna come back. It's basically just saying, "Aw, you're sad. Scream into this pillow. It'll make you feel better." So we're gonna be like, "You can stab me. Get some of that frustration out. I'll be all right."
I feel like Goddard's very much like Palpatine in Star Wars, and like he's finding these impressionable like people with potential, and then like showing them what could be. I mean, because look, I mean, Rowan's a teenage boy, and then he throws him this party. His hormones are raging, and it's like, look, let me talk you through how we see the world. And what, you know, how old is the kid? 16.
16. Okay, so I'm going to take a little intermission for a second. It is the halfway point of the live discussion. We have currently the book poll is going up right now, and it is close. It is very close. The front runner right now is Artemis by Andy Weir, and the second is Clara and the Sun, and it's just a few votes. So the reason we bring this up
is a difference of 4 votes.
And we don't vote, just so y'all know.
Yeah,
the 4 of us never vote.
If you haven't voted, please go and vote. I will say that there have been some people in the comments that have been disappointed with Artemis, and just throwing that out there. Your mileage may vary,
but it's also the front runner. So if y'all choose that, we're gonna
read it.
Yes,
so
that is how it works.
If you would like to change your vote, we're going to call the poll sometime after the live discussion is over, and we will let you know the winner. But
yes, if you have a moment later during the stream, don't close this one out. Open up another tab. But read those comments read the opinions that people have voiced, make a decision for yourself. But you do have an opportunity to, if you have not voted yet, to do that.
Rock the vote.
But just normally, I will say we don't usually do this because even when the vote is close, it's usually like stalled out at least 24 hours ahead of time. You know, like normally y'all quit voting like a whole day before. But the thing is, the votes were actually fluctuating quite a bit today. So since they're changing that much at the last minute, we wanted to give y'all another opportunity to do a little research, make up your mind, and we'll call it at the end.
And just a little heads up about, in case you hadn't been reading the comments and what people are saying. It's just something we've noticed. I'll read whatever.
Yeah, we have no choice. So
it's whatever y'all choose, we will read. Anyway, back to the discussion.
It's a good little halfway point announcement.
So, Adam, you actually mentioned that this reminds you of another literally wasted read of ours.
I did?
How to Stop Time a little bit.
Oh, there's a little bit of How to Stop Time in here. Just from the standpoint of like people who have lived their lives beyond nature. Or like the main character in How to Stop Time has been living for centuries. And now we've got like a whole society that is that. It's like sort of a generalized, that sort of mentality that our main character in How to Stop Time had is now kind of generalized to a society in a way. And that this society has just like stagnated and they're like bored and like they can't even contribute anymore because everything has been learned. Mm-hmm. Like, what are people even doing? Like, why do people even have jobs? Like, everybody's there just to kind of keep the status quo going. How to Stop Time also had dealt with the concept of like, what if you've just lived too long? And how does that?
Yeah, like what was the bad guy's name who'd been around for like 900 years?
I don't know. That was so many pages ago.
That was a lot. It was. Ago.
Like honestly, it's a miracle that I can remember any character's name like a week later.
Yeah, the main character.
And Adrian, you make a good point. Like, it's really interesting to me that in Scythe, every bit of information is at everyone's fingertips, and nobody
that they know of
sees the point. Well, that's what they think. That's what they believe.
The Thunderhead knows all,
but nobody bothers.
Right.
The Thunderhead. I'm excited to see what we learn about the all-seeing, all-knowing Thunderhead because, right?
Joe says, I think there's a strong undertone with fiction that people don't do well with extra time. We all want it, but it's bad for us.
Yeah. So Kira said, are you waiting to find out Thunderhead is bad? I mean, we know from every sci-fi book and movie out there, it just has to be bad. I keep waiting for the catch.
But bad how?
I want it to not be. I want it to be. Okay. I want it to be like, look, yes, it was made by humans, so fundamentally it should be flawed, right? But if it took on a consciousness of its own, I want it to be what saves us. To be like, look, humans keep fumbling. We suck. We gave all the power to the one big robot and it fixed everything. I kind of would be okay with that. Like, I don't know.
You have to sing hi to Bethany.
Hi, Bethany!
I thought you were going to go hi, Bethany.
I get it.
Because that's how you start the song.
Hi, Bethany.
There you go.
There you
go. Well, you know that book 2, I think, is titled Thunderhead.
I think it's book is it 2 or 3?
I think it might be book 2.
It's 2. It's right over there. I already bought it.
I don't even want to know what the third one's called.
It's called Gleaned.
The Toll.
Like that.
No, I think
the
that's
third one's called The Toll.
Well, I'm just wrong.
Well, we saw another one that had Gleanings as the title, but I got the impression it might be like short stories or something.
Anyway, Thunderhead, that's a big thing.
Thunderhead and then The Toll.
We haven't really talked about much is like the plot here. Like this, like we haven't talked much about Citra or Rowan and this whole thing that they're going through, which is this competition to become a Scythe, which they didn't even want in the first place.
Random and new.
They're kind of lettuce, so we haven't talked about them.
Just Rowan. Rowan's lettuce.
I like the lettuce.
I like the lettuce too.
I thought that was kind of amazing. I think I wrote something down about that.
About lettuce? You hate lettuce.
Okay, but
but that's what he said. He said nobody likes the lettuce. It's just there.
It's just there.
It's not
that's
true.
you.
I think
And
it
that's
elevates a
I
burger.
completely relate to that because I do not like lettuce, but I like Rowan. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like Rowan. I like Citra. I think they're both unique enough, and I think given what we've been given, I kind of care about both of them. I like.
Thank you, Natalie.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're
That's
good.
what pisses me off. Why do they still have to die? It's not a competition anymore. There are multiple sides. It's not a competition. They are not apprenticed together. Competition should be over. This is stupid. Faraday died for no reason. I'm mad.
Agreed, but I do think that Goddard kind of controls the conclave a little bit. I mean, you
Goddard's
saw how
a turd. Sorry.
A turd.
you saw how the overseer of the conclave like immediately agreed to that, and like also
Baron Harkonnen.
is that
That's
No,
Dune.
It's just a big,
But
I
big
mean-
fat guy.
I want to
This-
know why he's fat on purpose.
Yeah, because he could change that with like little like tweaky.
I want a tweaky.
Yeah, I want a tweaky.
yeah, really.
Can we put that on a shirt?
So
Tweaky,
Katie,
I want a
Katie
tweaky.
asked,
No.
oh,
No.
focus, guys, focus.
Tweaky, my nanites.
Katie asked, as of our stopping point, who do you think should win the competition?
No one. This is
See, the thing about this is like,
stupid.
and they don't even know, so I don't know. Like, how do you win this? Like, it wasn't Faraday's criteria. Is like, I'm going to give it to the person who wants it the least. So like, but they both kind of want it, and they both kind of don't want it. And now Rowan definitely doesn't. He wants to like, take a dive so that Citra can just kill him, and he doesn't have to kill her.
I think Rowan would win. I don't think we're going to see a competition, but I think Rowan would win because like Citra is trying so hard and working so hard for it, but Rowan, it comes naturally to him, I think.
Does seem to be a lot calmer in the face of.
So I'm interested to see how it goes. I really don't think there's going to be a competition, but I think Rowan would win if there was one.
Tiffany, that's the sound my cat makes when it sees a bug outside.
I don't know. I couldn't pinpoint it. They've both kind of had their moments in some way. It's interesting to see Faraday. I really liked Faraday. Like he definitely
Oh, me
reminded me of
too.
like a killing priest, like like a friar. And then you have like that juxtaposed with Curie, who literally lives in a Frank Lloyd Wright mansion and drives a vintage Porsche, which is pretty badass.
But she seems to have like a good mental grasp of the
Yeah.
balance, though. It's not like, ooh, I have all the perks. Like,
well, and the reason she said, like, apparently all these years later, Falling Water has fallen into disrepair, and the reason that she lives there is so it can be maintained for the future, which is kind of cool,
Yeah.
I feel like that and her hobbies, like even driving the Porsche, like, so they all have automated vehicles that do everything for them, right? So her living in the house is preserving history. Her driving this vehicle, it's something she has to be in total control of in order to maneuver. Like
and cooking too.
Citra commented, like, oh, she has to look at the road, like she has to pay attention. So her controlling something manually, her cooking, I feel like all these things that she's doing are her like staying in touch with her humanity.
I thought
Thank
Faraday
you,
was
Rachel.
Faraday was really interesting. Like he was so matter of fact and rigid in like the way he was, and he was the least human I've ever seen. But like it worked for the kind of Scythe that he is.
I think Faraday, our like first introduction to a Scythe being Faraday, like really set the table. What am I saying? What am I trying to say?
Yeah.
The
Set the
tone
tone.
for
Mhm.
what a Scythe is, like
And what
how
it should
Scythe
be.
should be, and like it kind
Mhm.
of created this sort of mysticism around being a Scythe and like all of that. Like if our first impression of a Scythe had been Goddard and he's like this playboy, like party boy, like it would have been like the Scythedom would have been this whole different thing. But instead we see it first of all through Citra and Rowan's eyes, and we see it like Faraday being that picture of a scythe, which I think was kind of neat.
I mean, he's very much like being like you think when you're introduced to Faraday that the Scythes are like a religious order and they all live this, vow of like poverty and chastity and, maintaining their structure and their balance and their regiment through their life. And then all of a sudden you go to the conclave and it's like, whoa, like there's all sorts of different types, right? So,
well, I mean, in that case, it proves very true. I think it is like a religious order. You have a lot of people who are there for
The food.
reasons that are very internal, and they're like, yes, and they commit to this life that they feel is very humble and necessary. And then you have a lot of people who say that they're there for the same reasons, but they're covered in bling. They just want this, like the spotlight. Like it does give off some strong religious vibes to me.
The
like,
conclave. This is not a spoiler, but the conclave, for those who have seen it, going to the conclave reminded me of when they went to visit the gods in Thor: Love and Thunder.
oh.
yeah.
Do Adrian's. Imagine if we got a second version from another Scythe's perspective. I would love that. And like we're starting to get. We haven't gotten a perspective from Goddard yet.
We've had
Uh-huh.
chapters.
We've gotten two journal entries.
Yeah,
From
we
him.
got journal entries.
Oh, you mean like a perspective?
Like actual chapter.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of Goddard chapters when he gleaned the plane in the mall.
No, the
mall
plane was
through
done
Esme's.
by the
Oh, yeah,
dude
that's right.
sitting down, the businessman.
That's right.
And then Esme was the mall. But we did get the journal entries, which I really liked.
Goddard is here for
appreciated.
he's here for the new world order. He's trying to update the Scythedom, go away from the old ways that Faraday was the champion of. Everyone's saying Faraday's death is suspect.
Yeah. I have a question.
Citra thinks it's suspect too. Yes, Talia.
So the creepy, scary new poison where the Scythe takes the pill and then their hand kills people. What happens when you're just like a really forgetful person? And sometimes my eye itches and I do this all the time. Would I just be like,
no, I don't think it would work on
well, they bring you back.
No,
I know, but like I'd forget all the time. Like I would take it and it'd be like, oh, my nose itches.
And they wouldn't bring you back because if
you
a
got an
Scythe kills
eyelash.
themselves, they think it's
Scythe.
intentional.
Oh,
I would get a cat hair in my eye and I'd glean myself like that without meaning to. Stupid.
Mr. Glean.
Clean yourself.
Dumb.
Yeah, the Scythe self-gleaning thing is interesting, and how like common it seems to be.
So Philip made a comment. He said, I'm not sure how death works. It seems like it isn't the Scythes who kill people. It's the medical people who are refusing to regenerate them. And I had not even thought about that until I read this comment.
Yeah, it's just not being regenerated.
Yeah, because like there is no death unless a Scythe chooses it for you.
Except fire.
Rules. That's true. And that's obviously going to come back into play because why else would they tell us that? And why?
Oh, the
Why is
flamethrower.
Why is
Because the
fire
one dude's
permanent?
got a flamethrower, yeah.
He does
But,
have
like,
a flamethrower.
How come they can heal or cancel out everything else but not fire?
Well, when you're crispy bits, I guess you can't.
Yeah,
bring back
it's
crispy
too much
bits.
of a chemical change in your composition. Your crispy bits, like Lucas said.
I don't like that.
Actually, I was this person as well.
You were crispy bits?
No,
Yeah.
I was that person who didn't
Yeah.
realize how much I touched my face.
Yes.
Yeah, you gleaned yourself. Congratulations. You gleaned
Yep.
yourself.
All the time.
But yeah, the fire. Yeah, Mike says that'll be coming back around. That was cool though. I'm glad they brought that up. I was like,
And I like
So
to know their limits.
Maybe it won't come back up until like the second or third book, and we'll forget about it.
I think it'll come back in this one.
I think it'll come back in the next chapter.
In the next chapter, that's soon.
Christy,
No.
I know someone in the comments, someone on the discussion post talked about robes. I definitely want to talk about that.
Robes. We should all get robes.
Yeah.
I don't have that. What do
What
you
our
remember
color
what it was about?
robes would be. And
Was
our
it? Or
names.
maybe someone
It
just
was our-
posted it in the group though. Someone definitely was like, "What color would you choose?" And I want to talk about that for two reasons.
Okay.
Oh, go for it.
What's your
Well, one, I just want us to all say what color robe because I instantly, when we were talking about when we were reading like early on in the book about you get to choose your color, I instantly stopped reading and was like, "What color would I be?" And like already thought about it. But I also want to dissect if this is an intentional color scheme for this book. And I've always made the assumption that this was Citra because it does appear to be the profile of a young female, but who knows? But red.
Oh.
Red?
You didn't notice the face?
I didn't notice the eyelash.
Yeah, I didn't
thought-
notice the face until like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
thought-
There's
so I
two
always
faces.
made an assumption that it was Citra just because it does have that
It's like a
profile
little-
and the eyelash tends to be very like that's a
Feminine,
thing that
yeah.
people wouldn't make, they want to make it feminine. But who knows, that could be to throw you off. But also red seems like a very, very intimidating and frightening color to choose as your robe. If it
You
were
see the red,
me,
you're dead.
I would pick a very, very soft but dark blue gray, like the color of dusk.
Agreeable gray.
That color,
That's
no,
not
but
blue.
like blue, that color that makes you think of like sleep. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It used to be
So-
like the color of our bedroom at the old house.
Leanne says on the book cover there are two faces. Pretty sure it's Citra and Rowan.
Yeah, there's back to back. It's
Because
because
there's
it's the
it's
optical
the other
illusion.
side of the thing.
It's the optical illusion there.
Also,
Yeah, but he's not wearing a robe.
true. Leanne already has her robe.
That's
She
right. I saw
posted a
it.
comment in the or no, she posted a picture in the lounge. It's pretty fantastic.
I have one too. Did y'all see the discussion reminder?
If I was
Where
a
is it?
Scythe, this would be me.
Tally. There you go.
So stop. That's horrifying, Adam.
It's not horrifying. You
So
need
if
to
y'all-
watch the source.
So if y'all see the discussion reminder pictures and stuff, so this is actually our teenager, poor kid, made them stand there for like 15 minutes while I figured out the angle I wanted for that picture.
Show them your
Put
bookmark.
Matt's on there.
You have to see Tally's bookmark that she made at the beach.
Also, hi Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. I would be like a deep purple. That's
Here's my bookmark.
Oh, that's great.
I would be. What color would I be? I don't know. I would be a blue, but it would probably actually be purple.
Aww.
oh, it would be gray.
Adam's colorblind.
Be like, I'll take the purple one. That's
And he's gonna
purple.
be like, yes, I
Blue.
want this dark gray
Yeah, give me this
robe.
blue one.
Yeah, and it's like
Um,
bright green.
That's purple.
So, kind of on a similar note, Rebecca asked, so in the spirit of Scythe, if you were chosen, what would your Scythe name be? And-
Beckman.
And you guys
Okay.
comment.
And
'Cause
it's
I wanna
but
see what
it's
they all
it's
are.
basically what there's the it's because they had initiated Scythe.
Your daughter. It's perfect.
What were the Scythe's names? It was
Spangler.
but it's supposed to be like representative of someone from history, right?
yeah.
Like
Like scientists or artists or
because what they inducted it was like Scythe Colbert and Scythe something else were the two names that they had
I think it was
introduced.
Colbert.
I thought
Was
it
it?
was Colbert or something like
it was
that.
something like that. But like they're all
the
but,
con-
like
It was who you were thinking.
Faraday,
I know.
Curie, Goddard. Like these are all like scientists or like revolutionary figures in his like in the those are all scientists, right? Like
Well, there's
who is it?
a very famous paleontologist named Edwin Cole.
No, that's Colbert. This is Colbert.
No,
yeah,
No.
Stephen Colbert.
No,
Yeah, that's
Stephen
who it is.
Colbert.
no.
How do you know? They didn't preface that.
They did
Mine
say they
would
were
be
scientists.
Scythe Weird Al.
Scythe Luigi.
Mm. He has to be a scientist. You already had the perfect one.
Yeah,
Adam.
Venkman.
Lucas, would it be
Venkman or
Scythe
Spengler?
Yankovic?
No, yeah, Scythe Yankovic.
I already thought of your slogan.
What's my
Nothing.
Yours would
we
be
can't
Scythe
talk about right
Ramsey.
now.
Oh, someone else said that for them.
Scythe who?
Ramsey, like
Ramsey.
Gordon Ramsay.
Ooh, Scythe Nye.
Excellent.
Scythe Nye, the death guy.
Scythe.
We did not practice
Scythe
this.
Ginsburg. Scythe.
You say we
Louis
did not practice this.
I mean, that just came out so naturally. It's pretty impressive.
Scythe.
Yeah, because someone, and then there was a Scythe. Who is the lady that's really important for monkeys and apes?
Goodall.
Thank you.
Oh, is
Jane.
Sean at the
Jane.
Weird
Maybe
Al's coming
Scythe
to Birmingham
Summers.
this week?
Scythe Summers.
As in Buffy.
Oh man, come on.
Not Scott.
Scott Summers.
Scythe Cyclops. That's hard to say.
Scythe Cyclops. Ooh, yeah. Don't say that out
Scythe
loud.
Cyclops. Scythe
You're
Cyclops.
fictional?
At least people would go down laughing. I'd be like, "Hello, it's me, Scythe Cyclops."
Scythe Rubin. I'm learning all these new people. Vera Rubin discovered dark matter.
Interesting.
Scythe DeGrasse
So-
Tyson.
Cyclops.
Yeah,
Excellent.
pretty good.
Is that Cyclops? Scythe Cyclops.
I like Scythe Nye because he taught me about science as a child.
That's good.
What about Scythe Mr. Wizard?
What?
You don't remember Mr. Wizard?
Wow.
Nobody remembers Mr. Wizard? Oh God, I'm
Give
old.
us some context.
Lucas, you should remember Mr.
I don't
Wizard.
remember Mr.
And
Wizard.
it's not
Context.
just scientists. If also like paleontologists and people who have made a mark on history count, then I could also argue
Grant.
for like Scythe Rogers.
Like
Ah.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, he was very important.
Honorable
to
Scythe
our
Snoop
culture.
Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
It's like, but every time
he
he
just
comes in to
smokes them
glean
to
someone,
death.
everyone has to go.
Other people remember
"Snoop."
Mr. Wizard.
Oh, I had a question.
Okay.
And Rowan actually touched on this, but do you think in this world anyone ever tries to be as ordinary as possible to avoid being a statistic?
Like I'm not going to swim even though I want to swim because they're going to pinpoint that.
And I won't have pets because
Scythe Forsyth. Scythe Forsyth.
But I mean, but that even like doesn't make it because what they went. That one lady got gleaned in the like that they saw in the grocery store parking lot just because she was in a parking lot after
Yeah.
getting groceries, and they were like,
it's not
People-
foolproof. But I think it would be effective to maybe stay out of Faraday's path, but it wouldn't be effective for Curry or Goddard because
Yeah.
I mean,
nothing is effective against Goddard.
well, nothing. Curry, like she just went and found the person who had the right kind of eyes.
Okay, so you have to be lettuce. You have to be very happy and engaged, and you can't go to the mall or use giant public transport.
So, I mean, and I'd be interested to see, I'd love to find out what the other size methods are, like how they choose and also how they glean.
There's another community
Philip
question.
wants to know how everyone would pick their gleaning. That's
No,
It's dependent on if you liked Airplane or not.
yeah. I think you'd have to have like some sort of video game contest.
Let's just
and-
meet.
And then you go in a bucket.
Well, and if you did do just the oldest people, I bet you would get called out for like
Ageism.
ageism. Yeah.
yeah, that was one of the stipulations. Is it has to be random for whatever reason. We haven't figured out. Maybe that will be explained. Probably not.
Random
Phone
from a
booth.
phone booth.
Hmm.
That sounds like a horror movie concept. Right.
I don't know how I would pick that. Don't make me pick. Don't make
No,
me
that's terrible.
pick how
Okay.
I would kill
Stressful.
people.
So there's rules about how you pick and who you pick, but are there any rules about how you glean other than what? No fire?
Except for flamethrower guy.
Well, no. Well, there was one thing that they voted against in the conclave.
The remote detonators.
Remote detonator.
That's what it was.
Because they said exploding people is cruel, but also we got money from the gun people, but we're definitely not politicians.
I really did not like how they came and like lobbied or like advertised what their stuff was. That seemed really wrong.
And then they gleaned the
they
person.
gleaned her. That was just so messed up. And how
Can you
often does that
Shark
happen?
Tank? It's like the
Like-
worst Shark Tank episode ever.
Oh, I think I missed that. They gleaned the.
Yeah.
The lady, like
The lady-
she was like, "This is great. You take the pill, then you touch someone." And the guy was like, "That's amazing." Took the pill and then touched her.
Oh my god, I totally.
Yeah,
missed
that's how
that.
they tested it out.
Well, and I wonder if that's how they always test it out because it kind of makes sense, although it's messed up.
Sorry,
So
our
the cat's being gleaned
our
right
cats
now.
are
He's-
past
Yeah,
due feeding time.
he knows.
Hmm.
He knows
Oh,
it's
Tiffany, you're
dinner time
evil.
and he's hungry.
Glean like the ring. That movie traumatized me, by the way.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, no.
so what about like Curie gives no notice? It's always a surprise.
Boom, dead.
But to
But
be fair, that is often how death
And she
happens.
cooks them a delicious meal with cake.
that was their family
Yeah.
Yeah.
afterwards. And then Faraday lets them know and then does it like within the hour.
He even tells you how he's going to do it. He's like, I'm going to drown you.
Yeah. Ooh, that one was tough for me because I was like everything up to this point has seemed very like painless, like quick, easy. But now he's like, come on, there's a river out back. I'm gonna hold you under. And I was like, how like this?
But there was that moment where the guy broke his jaw and he did not exact punishment on the rest of his family. He like lied to them and like threw Citra under the bus.
Wait, how do y'all feel about that? If you resist gleaning, your whole family gets gleaned.
I mean, it's a way to keep checks and balances sickly enough.
I wonder what the time period is between a successful revival. Like, how long can someone
Like 3
be
days.
dead?
Right?
Shut up. How long
I think it might be
can
like
someone
3
be
days-ish.
dead
Oh, like
before you bring them back and it still works? Do you know what I mean?
maybe we'll find that out.
Like,
Well,
I wonder if
The splatters.
I feel like the nanites are instantly
I
working.
don't like that
though.
term
Oh.
at all.
Splatters.
Not a fan. Nope.
But there's also like shooters or whatever, right? Too like the people who
Yeah, that just.
It's like-
Yep.
use guns to
Yep.
get a thrill.
So what about the two kids or teenagers at the grocery store that the one snuck and kissed the ring when Faraday wasn't looking, and then the punishment that was exacted on him? I thought that was very clever.
Yeah, he's like, enjoy it because in a year from now,
366
Yeah.
days.
I'm
So,
coming for you.
yeah.
and he had
That- I mean,
absolutely no intention of following through.
But still, like, how stupid and ballsy to be like, why would you even put yourself on his radar? Is it really worth it to have like one safe year? One? No, Joe, I'm not worried about zombies. I just like want to have like a tiny seed of hope that Faraday could come back somehow. That's all.
Everybody's coming back.
I just
Thunderhead.
don't feel like we've seen the last of him. But
This
we'll
is
see.
another zombie book. Christy, stop.
This is not zombies.
They are. They're all
She's-
zombies.
No, what's gonna happen? She's not gonna
Oh.
wear
Well,
the
we're-
ring. She's gonna keep his withered dead hand around her neck.
Stop. Okay, I'm
That's-
actually fine that you think this is a zombie book because that means you're completely desensitized to zombies, which means other zombie books are on the table now, right?
No, they are not. This is not the same.
Yeah, you like zombies now.
What? No.
But you like this book. And it's clearly
No, I
all
don't. I said I'm
zombies.
intrigued by it. I don't like it. I'm just very interested.
Enjoying reading it.
All right, so
No.
we have hit the
No.
hour mark on this discussion about zombies. And, shall we? I'm looking forward to reading the second half. I think we're all
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
into this
Yeah.
book. It'll be fun for me.
Yeah, I actually had to stop myself from going forward because I was about to be like, maybe I
Lucas
can
in it to
keep
win
going."
it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see it. The rest.
Yeah, and also friendly reminder: the poll is live. It looks to me
It's
like
fine.
it has swapped places because Clara and the Sun is now
By,
in the
by,
lead.
by 6 votes.
It's
By
like completely swap
6
places.
votes.
So we'll leave it up for a little bit longer, and then we'll make a call.
We'll make
Yeah,
our
and
determination.
while y'all are
Y'all get
voting,
5
there's another
minutes.
pinned poll that I put up there about forums and Discord and just trying to gauge everyone. Right now, most everyone, which I was kind of surprised at, are saying that if we do open up a space outside of really Facebook, because that's the only place that we're really having discussion, you'd prefer a forum on our website. So I'm going to update our website a little bit. But, we have a website, literarylywasted.club.
Because we're a book club.
And it's a good website. It's cute. But
It's very cute.
We're looking into capabilities to actually add a full-blown forum. No promises yet, but part of the issue that we see is we're 3 years into this, and how do you really carry on a conversation about wool right now? Right? I mean, it's timely for that month, but then once we move beyond that point, it just kind of falls to the wayside. And we want to keep those conversations going. And plus, we don't know, with group text. Oh my gosh.
No, just
What? Come on.
We got another one.
Get out of here, YouTuber.
Anyway, you just Adam gleaned 2 people tonight. You can take a break tomorrow. You don't have to.
Let's go
Go to the
party.
pool. So anyway, please go vote on that and let us know. And if you have feedback, reach out to us, shoot us an email, literarylywasted@gmail.com. But we are looking into some options because we want to give y'all a more robust place to keep discussions going, and that may open up even more community engagement opportunities for us. So we'll see, but appreciate you chiming in there and on the comments.
Yes.
I think that's all I had.
And so next live discussion will be on August
2 weeks from today.
31st.
the 31st, the last day of the month.
Yes. So we'll discuss
Mariah
the second
wants
half.
to bring back the AOL chat room.
Oh, I'm in. I'm in for AOL.
Well, I will say
You've got email.
the forum that we're looking at is a solution that some big companies actually use, like Lego and
We're Lego,
Squarespace, and it actually, you'd still be able to have your own profile, within there, but then we can actually dole out achievements and there's actually some cool little things and fun ways to kind of build that up. So yeah, because I know, look, Facebook's not for everybody. I understand that completely, and so
that's the thing, and it's a great way to bring together. We have really wonderful people who are part of the club via YouTube or Instagram, and maybe that those 2 people on Twitter. It's a great place where we can all come together and you not be bombarded by all the other stuff. It's you go to our website for book club.
Yeah,
cool. That's where it is.
Also, if you keep track with our Instagram and Twitter, we did get some engagement from Erica Swiler, so that was pretty cool. Even though her book is in last place, I'm sorry, Erica.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, she said hey, and she's glad that her book was even considered with these 2 others. So maybe we'll have to.
I was gonna say it's not the end, and we do occasionally some of these authors have been really great about liking or retweeting certain things that we post of their books, and it does seem like more often than not they've been smaller authors who might not have had their books chosen, but it's not the end. We have proven multiple times on multiple occasions now that we authors sometimes come back in a future poll. So it's not the end.
So with that, thank you for hanging out with us tonight and discussing Scythe. We look forward to the final live discussion on August 31st. Scythe on August 31st.
Oh boy.
Hey. And we'll see you next time.